Good morning, runners. I am doing a split long run today, just the way our schedule is. I thought my husband could take the kids to school, but he can't. So I just finished up, 7.32 miles. I'm gonna go in here, the lines, and we'll see. Hopefully the kids are ready. My husband's always super great about getting them ready and stuff, and then I'm gonna take them to school and finish up because I have a meeting at 11. That's why I also had to do this. So I just couldn't get it in continuous, and that's okay. I'll check in with you. So I just got back home. I dropped the kids off. So let's see, it's 8:48. My last run, I finished right around 8 o'clock. Came in and got the kids all finished up and in the car and off to school, and was kind of deciding where I wanted to run for the second half, and I'm just going to leave from home. So I have this meeting at 11, so I need to be back by 10:30 so I can at least jump in the shower and then look over my notes real quick before my call. And the other thing was that I was going to do this in the afternoon, but we have thunderstorms predicted for like the entire afternoon. So it worked best to just split this up. It's not like the best situation, but it's totally fine. This is my down week. I'm just, at this point, I'm going like up, down, up, down, up, down. So last week I did 20. This week I'm going to do 17 or 16, half 17 today. Next week I'm going to do 21, down and then up again, and then Ragnar race, something like that. As I get to the end with the really long runs, the 20 plus, I'll do like a 20 plus, and then go down a few miles, another 20 plus, go down a few miles, just to kind of, those, take a lot out of you, those 20 plus ones. So I'm gonna head out here, do the second half, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. All right, I'm getting started. I was so freezing, so I had like the heat cranked up in the car. So I had the same clothes on, they get sweaty, so I stopped. So that's kind of the hard part. But got some food, got some water, and changed my shoes. So I was wearing like my recovery run shoes for that first part. Got in my Escalantes now. So got about 9.5 on this part, and then I'll be done. Let's go. That is 10 miles for that one. So 17.3 total today. And I did a fast finish, which is like spending the last 20-25 minutes just picking up the pace. So I did a mile that was just under marathon pace, and then down to about half marathon pace, and wrapped it up with tempo pace. Couldn't get it down to that 10K pace, but that's all right. It was good to get the legs moving fast, and then I always like to do a cool down, and yeah, my legs are definitely very, very tired at that point. All right, just walking into home. Gonna shower, take this call, and then I just want to talk to you guys about celebrating where you're at now, as well as I'm gonna just kind of show you guys my week last week, if that might interest some of you, and kind of how I go about each of my days and my runs, since I usually just focus on the long run. Hey guys, if you are liking this content, I would really appreciate if you press the like button below. It helps this channel. And if you love all things running, that's what we do here. So maybe consider subscribing. I would love to have you with me. I've been working for the last several hours. I wanted to check back in with you guys. I said that I was going to talk to you about just kind of what my last week looked like. And if you want to get into how I structure my training weeks and why I do that, I have another video that's very specific about that I'll link, but just so you guys can kind of get a glimpse into this marathon training and how it's going day by day. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I have my computer here for you guys. I did 60 plus miles last week, and that was the first time I've ever hit that milestone in my typical training block. So there have been times that I've been over 60 miles a week where I've ended up with 2 long runs in the same week. My goal this week was to get above 60 miles in 1 week with my typical training schedule that looks like this. So if we go back to last Monday, this was my 20-mile long run that was in the last vlog that I have. If you guys haven't watched that, make sure you check that out. But this was my long run for Monday, and then so I always follow the next day of a long run with a recovery run. just because the long run is such a hard effort that you really need to get your body some of those really slow recovery miles. So these, you'll see, these are always shorter and a lot slower. And then I always have my rest day on Wednesday. So I run 6 days a week and I always take a rest day, which might be a little different this week because my husband and I really want to do Orange Theory together and it would have to be Wednesday on my rest day. So we will see. And then Thursdays are always my speed work day. So this one in particular, I did 7.6 miles. I did a tempo progression. So I started out at like marathon pace and then got faster and faster and then ended up with under 5K pace. So just progressive miles kind of all in one block there. And then I've been going to Orange Theory on those same days as well. So what I do on these days is I get up early, I do my speed work in the morning, take my kids to school, and then I meet my friend Heather at Orange Theory. And I just kind of play the treadmill part. If you guys have been to Orange Theory, you know that it's a very hard class. It's awesome. And I'm so glad to be back there for strength training. But the treadmill portion, you kind of never know what you're going to get. And since I really need to be doing focused speed work and making sure that I'm not going crazy too fast just to keep my body healthy, and I just don't need that with marathon training. Sometimes I adjust it for me and I just have to tune out what everyone else is doing, and I know, that I have kind of my certain extent that I should be going on those days. Okay, and then I followed up the next day with another recovery run. Let's see, last week I did 7.4. That's probably like the longest recovery run I really ever done, but I was really trying to hit those 60 miles, so I knew I needed to make it a little bit longer. And I did 9:35s. I just made sure I went super nice and easy and was not overtaxing my body. And honestly, guys, it was kind of a boring run. I mean, it just was slower than I'd want to be going, but I knew it was really necessary. And then Saturdays are always my medium long run days, and I get to do those with the Moms Running group in my city, and I just really love those days, and it makes the miles go by so much faster. So pretty much I've been sticking with between 10 to 11 and a half for those medium long run days. And then this Sunday was a treat because we got to do this really nice trail run, and I was with my Ragnar teammates. So I don't think I told you guys that, but I'm doing the Ragnar relay, and if you've never heard of those, look into them. I'm really excited. This will be my first one, but my husband's done it, and our group leader, she's like super excited, and she said it's just the best thing ever. But basically you do 3 legs in a overnight trail run with a team, and I think you end up doing like 14 or 15 miles or something like that. So that's actually 2 weeks before my marathon. So my number one goal in that is to just not get hurt. Like, I want to do well, but all those rocky trails, I just need to make sure that I'm staying healthy and keeping my body intact, right, for my number one goal, which is to qualify for Boston at the marathon 2 weeks after that. So that's basically it. That's how I structure every single week that I do. Really nothing too outside the norm. Every once in a while it will have to fluctuate, but otherwise I'm pretty rigid. And kind of going back to the atomic habits that I talked about a couple weeks ago, I think this is why I'm so disciplined with my running, is I just know what I'm doing every day. There's no question, and I just have to do it. It's non-negotiable, basically, is what I always tell myself. If it has to get done at the end of the day, then that's what happens. Today, I had to split up my long run. It was not ideal because it was supposed to thunderstorm. It hasn't at all yet, although it looks like it might be coming. But anyway, wanted to really quick, I always love to put a little motivation in here for you. Today when I was running, I ran past a mama, and she was pushing a double stroller. She was going up the hill as I was going down the hill. And this was in the middle of when I was going a little faster in my run as I was trying to pick up the pace for the last couple miles. I was doing a fast finish long run. And so I was just kind of, come up very fast on her and then flying by her. And she just had this very tired look on her face. And I smiled at her and did a little wave. And honestly, I should have said, "You go, mama," because she was doing awesome pushing that stroller up the hill. But I don't know her, and I don't know her story, and I don't know what she was thinking or anything like that. But all I can know is how I was back in her position long ago, running that same hill with a double stroller with my 2 youngest kiddos way back when. And it just made me think, we all just need to celebrate where we're at right now in our journey. And I've had some comments recently, super nice. I mean, thank you guys for your support. But I've had comments recently about, my pace and like kind comments, like my pace and the mileage that I'm doing. And I do the same thing, like looking at other people that are maybe doing more than me or they're faster than me. I think it's just so hard for us not to always be comparing, right? Especially when it's all around us in social media and things like that. Like we're absolutely happy for the person, right? And we're telling them they're amazing and really kind things. But then sometimes we go back on ourselves and we think, oh, I wish I could do that, or why am I not there yet? And we're super motivated, right? And we have these goals, and that's awesome, and we absolutely should have that. But I think sometimes we get so caught up in that we forget how far we've come and where we're at right now. And I'm doing that a lot, with not getting to Boston and being worried, what if I can't do it again, that type of thing. But I have to think back to where I was when I ran my first couple of marathons, these marathons that were just under 5 hours, and I've taken off an hour plus, to be able to qualify for Boston from those times back in my 20s. And instead of being frustrated about maybe not seeing the progress right now yet, I have to keep pushing, and I have to spend some time thinking about how far I've come also. And I think sometimes we just don't spend enough time doing that. And going back to this mom pushing the stroller again, and I don't know what her thoughts were, but just thinking, being so happy in that moment and being grateful with your littles and doing what exercise you can at that time, or if you're still quarantined right now or in lockdown wherever you might live and feeling like, oh, I didn't do enough this past year, just be proud of where you are right now, and that's your starting point. So you don't always have to be pushing for these big goals either. You can also think about how much you've done, that you've accomplished, because I think we just don't spend enough time doing that. So that's what I want you guys to do is, sit and think for a few minutes about how far you've come in your journey, whatever that may be. If it is running, and celebrate that. Take some time to celebrate that. It's the same thing I told one of my runners. She was feeling down and frustrated, and I pulled up all her running history over the last year and how much mileage she's been gaining over the weeks. And I think that was really eye-opening for her. So just remember that. You guys are amazing. Thanks for following in my journey. It makes me so happy to have you here with me, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.